Welcome to another episode of Savadestan Ask. I'm your host Anastasia, and today we have a special guest. Welcome, Yekta.
Thank you, Anastasia. It's great to be here.
So, Yekta, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into entrepreneurship.
Sure. I have always been interested in business and entrepreneurship. Even from a young age, I started my first business when I was in high school, selling t-shirts to my classmates. And after that, I went to college and I studied business and entrepreneurship. And then started my first real business after graduation, of course.
That's great. What kind of business did you start?
I started a digital marketing agency. I had learned a lot about online marketing and advertising in college. And I saw that there was a big demand for these services in the market. So I started my own agency and began working with clients to help them grow their businesses online.
That's really interesting. So today we want to talk about entrepreneurship and what it takes to be successful in this field. What would you say are some of the most important qualities that an entrepreneur needs to have?
That's a great question. I think there are several key qualities that all successful entrepreneurs share. First of all, they need to be passionate about what they are doing. Like, everybody knows that starting a business is hard work, and there are going to be a lot of ups and downs along the way. You need to have a deep-seated passion for your idea or your product that will keep you motivated and focused through the tough times.
That's a great point. What else do you think is important?
I think another key quality is resilience. As an entrepreneur, you're going to face a lot of challenges and setbacks. You need to be able to bounce back from these setbacks, and keep moving forward. And of course, you can't let failure discourage you or even hold you back.
Absolutely. I think resilience is one of the most important qualities an entrepreneur can have. What other qualities do you think are important?
I would say that being adaptable is also very important. As an entrepreneur, you need to be able to pivot and change your strategy when things aren't working. You need to be able to adapt to new situations and new challenges that you're going to face with them.
That's a great point. I think adaptability is especially important in today's fast-paced and constantly changing business environment. What other qualities do you think are important?
I would say that being a good communicator is also very important. As an entrepreneur, you need to be able to communicate your ideas, your vision to others, whether that's your employees, your investors, or your customers. You need to be able to inspire and motivate others to believe in your vision and your mission.
That's so true. Communication is key in any business, but especially in entrepreneurship. So let's talk a little bit about the process of starting a business. What are some of the key steps that an entrepreneur needs to take when starting a new business?
Well, the first step is to come up with a solid business idea. I think you need to identify a need or a gap in the market and come up with a product or service that fills that need. Or you can, have your idea. You need to do your market research. It's really important. And figure out if there is a demand for your product or service.
That's a great point.
Yes, of course. Market research is crucial. You need to understand your target audience. And the most important thing is that you have to pay attention to their needs and also their preferences. And you also need to analyze your competition and figure out how you can differentiate yourself from them.
That's a really important. What are some other key steps that an entrepreneur needs to take when starting a business?
Well, once you have your business idea and you have done your market research, the next step is to create a business plan. Your business plan should outline your goals, your strategies, your budget, and your timelines, of course. It should also include your marketing and sales plan, as well as your financial projections.
That's great advice. What else should an entrepreneur consider when starting a business?
Well, you also need to think about funding. Most businesses require some level of funding, whether that's loans, investments, or even your personal savings. You need to figure out how much money you need to get started and where you're going to get it from. It's really important. You have to pay attention to this.
That's a really important point. Funding is often a major challenge for entrepreneurs. What are some other challenges that entrepreneurs face when starting a business?
In my view, one of the biggest challenges is building a team. Well, you need to find the right people to work with you and help you build your business. And I think you need to find people who share your vision and your passion, and of course, who have the skills and experience you need in your business.
Yes, building a team can be really challenging. What are some other challenges that entrepreneurs face?
Well, I think another big challenge is staying focused and staying motivated. As an entrepreneur, you are going to face a lot of distractions and a lot of setbacks along the way. And I think you need to be able to stay focused, on your goals and keep pushing forward, even when things, get tough for you.
That's so true. Motivation is key in entrepreneurship. So let's talk a little bit about growth. How can entrepreneurs grow their businesses?
Well, there are a lot of different strategies for growth depending on the type of business you have. And some common strategies include expanding your product or service offerings, entering new markets, or developing new partnerships or collaborations. You can also focus on increasing your marketing and sales efforts, or even improving your operational efficiency.
That's really helpful. What are some common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when trying to grow their businesses?
One of the biggest mistakes is trying to grow too quickly. In my view, growth is important, but it needs to be sustainable. Like, if you try to grow too quickly, you can end up overextending yourself and putting your business at risk. For example, you also need to make sure that you're focusing on the right areas of growth. Well, I think it's easy to get distracted by shiny new opportunities, but you need to make sure that any growth strategies you pursue are aligned with your overall business goals and objectives.
Those are really important points. So, as we wrap up, what final advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
My advice would be to stay focused, stay motivated, and stay passionate. And you should know starting a business is a long and difficult journey, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Like, if you have a great idea and you're willing to put in the work, you can create something truly amazing. Just trust me. You should remember to stay true to your vision and your mission. And of course, you shouldn't let setbacks discourage you. And with persistence and determination, anything is possible.
Before we wrap up, we have some time to answer a few questions from our listeners. We have received some great questions about entrepreneurship and starting a business, so let's dive in. The first question is from Sari in Texas. She asks, how do you know when it is the right time to start a business?
That's a great question, Sarah. There is no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, but as it depends on a variety of factors, such as your personal circumstances, your financial situation, and even your readiness to take on the challenges of entrepreneurship. However, some indicators that it may be the right time to start a business include having a great idea that solves a real problem or meets an unfulfilled need in the market, like having the necessary skills and experience to make the business a success, and having a supportive network of friends, family, and mentors who can help you along the way.
Our next question comes from Michael in New York. He asks, how important is networking in entrepreneurship?
Networking is incredibly important in entrepreneurship, Michael. Well, building relationships with other entrepreneurs, mentors, and industry professionals can help you find new opportunities, gain valuable insights and feedback, and develop partnerships that can drive growth for your business. And you should know, networking can also help you build your personal brand and establish yourself as a thought leader in your industry.
And our final question comes from Rebecca in California. She asks, how can entrepreneurs balance work and life?
Balancing work and life can be a challenge for entrepreneurs, Rebecca, especially in the early stages of starting a business, when there is so much to do. However, it's important to prioritize self-care and make time for the things that matter most to you outside of the work, of course, such as spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, and engaging in activities that help you recharge and stay motivated. One way to do this is to set clear boundaries between work and personal time, and to schedule time for both in your calendar.
Thank you for those great questions.
It was my pleasure, Anastasia. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Yekta. We hope that our answers were helpful. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Savadestan Ask. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review if you enjoyed this episode. We will be back next week with more great insights and advice.